These are the PJB H850 headphones. They're fairly low impedance, so about like 40 ohms or something. I forgot the right impedance, but they're not high impedance like some headphones, so they work really well with our Bighead bass body, and also our amplifiers. Have got headphone outputs like a double 4 bass cub, suitcase compact, session 77, etc. When you get the headphone, the cable is separate, and what you got to look at is there's two different plugs. So what you do is you plug the bigger plug, the longer one, into the headphone. It's a bayonet fitting. It goes on the left side of the headphone in, and you'll feel it going in, and you twist it like a bayonet fit. So once it's in it, it doesn't come out. And so for longevity of these headphones, we're going to be able to supply the ear cup pads and cable as optional replacement parts should anybody need to get these headphones, you know, like not repaired, but you know, just if the headphones wear out and they get kind of like, you know, sweaty here and worn out, and the cables can get, you know, broken, dog can chew them or something, so they're replaceable. So what I'll talk about now is the Bighead. Now, the Bighead is a kind of a multi-function Swiss Army knife. Not just for bass players, for just musicians. It can work with guitar and bass. And how it works is you've got basically on here 4 controls, 2 dual-centric controls, and a headphone out on the front. What you have is a volume control here, which controls the output to the headphones, and then a gain control, so you can basically set the output of the instrument to match the unit without overloading it. Then you've got a dual concentric EQ here, which you have like treble is on the outside and bass on the inside, and they're specifically made for a bass instrument. You know, you can work it with guitar, but I mean, particularly the low frequency control, it's got a real rich warmth to it. It doesn't sound muddy. And then the treble control is like a very, very wide range of treble, so you can get just about any tone you want with a 2-band EQ. Switching it on the back, there's a on-off switch here, and you put it on like that, and it lights up blue, showing it's got power. When you put the USB in, it will go to green to record, and it also will charge from your computer with USB, but it won't charge with an iPad because the iPad doesn't have the current capacity on the USB to charge it up. And then the red is, I think, is when it's on charge. Is that right? Something like that. The other thing on the back here, you've got a 1/4 inch, which is your instrument, and then you've got an auxiliary in here, and then you've got a USB, micro USB. This works like any kind of like a Samsung phone or any kind of you know, typical phone except an iPhone. You plug it in here, and you can plug it in where charge it with the computer USB or a typical phone charger. And it comes with a few cables. There's a few cables here. One is this just stereo mini jack cable, and you plug that in to the back there. And if you've got a player, like this is like a brand new music player, plug it into the headphone out there. Okay, what I got now, I got the Bighead hooked up. Instead of headphones, because you won't be able to hear the headphones, I've hooked up the headphone output to an amplifier, the double 4, into the auxiliary input there. So you have a 2-band EQ here, and what I want to show you is that these are dedicated for bass. There's the full treble. There. Flat is in the middle. Bass. So they're really useful. You can get pretty much any kind of sound you want, even with 2-band EQ, because they're specifically selected for the right frequencies for an instrument. This EQ does not control the auxiliary input on the back. The auxiliary input is just flat, so if you want to change any EQ on that, you've got to do it at the source, like on your phone with an EQ or a player. So let me just show you how you work. You put on something like this, like So you can see when it's hooked up to the computer, it goes, all right, green, yeah. And what we've got now is when you plug this in to something like GarageBand, it automatically brings it up as an input source. And what I did, I recorded with a American Standard Fender Precision bass with labella flat wounds on it, and a archtop acoustic, jazz guitar, and it's just a drum track. It did this like in a couple of minutes, and just to give you a kind of idea of the groove. So you want to hit play on it. You can see the signals on there. Another cable that comes with a Bighead enables you to use this as a preamp to feed another amplifier. It's got a mini jack, a stereo mini jack one end, to a 1/4 inch mono the other end. So what you do is you plug this not into the back, into the front, the headphone out. That's your output to your amplifier. Then you plug this in to a line in on the amplifier. You can use it on an instrument amplifier without the preamp, but you can take it with a powered cab like this. And now you have a very potent, really small, great sounding bass rig.